everybody, so my next movie review for you, and I'm genuinely really excited to actually review this movie, is Back to the Future. So Back to the Future was directed by Robert Zemeckis. It was released here on the 4th of December 1985. This movie consists of a cast of Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly. We've got Christopher Lloyd as Dr. Emmett Brown. We also have Lee Thompson as Lorraine Baines or McFly. We also got Crispin Glover as George McFly and Thomas F. Wilson as Biff. So this movie follows a young teenager in America in 1985. He's pretty much down on his luck. He's trying to make it big in a band. He's a very keen musician. His family life is not the best in any way, shape, or form, but he has a friend who is kind of like a mad scientist who basically makes a DeLorean. No, he makes a time machine out of a DeLorean. While in this kind of shopping mall car park, there was a little bit of an instance where he basically floors this time machine to 88 miles an hour and gets transported straight back to 1955, where this movie takes a very different turn to the point he basically interferes with their parents' meeting, and it then becomes a movie of him trying to make sure that their parents meet, so he doesn't get erased or his family doesn't get erased in the future, as well as him trying to get back to his own time. Honestly, this movie is absolutely fucking fantastic. I love this. This is a movie that I will constantly, always go back to. There is so much to love with this. I get so much childhood nostalgia while watching this movie. And I will, like I said, I've watched this hundreds and hundreds of times, and I'm sure I'm going to keep watching it for many years. It's just one of those movies which is just very enjoyable, family entertaining, and it's just when you just go, there is nothing wrong with this movie in any way. I have got no bugbears with this movie in any way, shape, or form. Even to the point of them explaining the time travel in here. Anybody will understand how time travel works from this movie. They do not make it complicated. They do a very short, simple scene with the dog Einstein. Anybody who's like 5 or 6 can pretty much get how time travel works in this movie. I admit in the second movie there's a little bit of a twist at the end, which then you have to try and figure out, and it's just a little bit, I don't know. But it's not that hard. It is very family friendly. Let me put it like that. Storyline in this, like I said, it's just like an action adventure of a kid who gets transported to a different time, and it then becomes a bit of a race to time to make sure he gets back to his own time while trying to correct one of the mistakes he makes while being in this time, i.e. interfering with his parents' meeting. Which is a very decent, it is a decent storyline in here, to be honest with you, that storyline. There is another little subplot storyline going on, which I'm going to mention in a minute. But just in general, honestly, the performances in here are absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love Michael J. Fox in this movie. I love Christopher Lloyd as Doc Emmett Brown in this. Even his character when he's in his younger years in 1955, yeah, there's a slight difference to him. It's just enjoyable all the way through. The comedic elements in this movie are absolutely fantastic and on point. They're not overdone in any way, shape, or form. There is like some sort of scenes in there where you go, that's a little bit embarrassing. Like, sometimes you get that little bit of cringe, when you get that little bit of embarrassment. So I don't know if I can watch that. It's going to be really embarrassing, which is still adds to the movie. It's absolutely fantastic. Special effects in here, very good for their time. The things I love about this movie is the simple facts of they made this time machine out of a DeLorean. Yes, okay, the DeLorean was never really a very good, reliable car, but that car now is probably one of the most iconic movie cars in movie history, just from this movie. And that's another reason why I love it. It's just everything that comes with this. Everything. I love that the scene in the mall, and you get that kind of tension build up, and then you get throughout the movie where Biff is chasing Marty McFly. You got that kind of sense of like there's really that kind of suspenseful build up in this movie in certain areas, and then you get the bit where he actually gets one over on Biff and all that kind of stuff. And then we're going towards the very end of this movie, which to be fair, there could be a slight bugbear, but it is so slight. And I'm going to mention it, but it will not affect my review on this in any way, shape, or form. So we get to the end sequence where he's basically on that start line. And here's the bugbear. Here's not a bugbear, here's the small little fault. During the build up to that, Marty McFly was told that when that bell on the dash goes, he must floor it, because if he doesn't, he'll miss the lightning strike. That bell was ringing for the best part of a minute when that car wouldn't start, which suggests that he may not have made it back in time. That being said, I know why this was put in this movie. It adds to the suspense, it adds to the tension. It's like whether he's going to get back and all that kind of stuff. All the music kicks in, and is he going to get home, and what's going to happen? You know, you do get that sense of feel, especially the first time you watch it. The second time there, you know what's going to happen. But the first time, and I remember the first time I watched this as well, it's like, is he actually going to get home? Is there going to be something else? What else is going to happen? And you just get that kind of suspenseful feel to it, which just makes this movie even better. With all those bits that I absolutely love in this, with the performances, the characters, and everything, even towards the end of the movie, where when he goes back and he sees his family change because of the reason is of this little subplot which I spoke about, which is essentially bullying. So Biff is a bully. He bullied George McFly at school. And it basically still showed later on in his life at the beginning of the movie. He was basically, George McFly was Biff's bitch. And it becomes to the point in the movie where he bullied and bullied and bullied. And because of the scenario and the series of events that happened in that movie, he basically stood up for himself. I'm not saying to anybody in any way, shape, or form, I've been bullied. Okay, I've been bullied in my life. I made a mistake of hitting one of my bullies. Okay, I didn't get into trouble for it, I just made the mistake of hitting him. It did not make me feel any way, shape, didn't make me feel any better in any way, but I've stood up to my bullies. And in respect, this is what they do in this, and then later on in life, and as you get to the end of the movie, you get to see how much of effect standing up to a bully can actually have. If you let a bully get to you, obviously it's going to basically bring you down. If you can stand up to a bully, face on, the amount of, not power, but the amount of confidence you could actually generally gain from that. And I'm not saying go out and hit a bully, I'm just saying stand up to them in some sort of way. Just don't take their shit. It's basically what I'm saying. And it's just, you know, that kind of aspect. You had the main plot and you had this like subplot that was going on. With all of that, and then you chuck in one of the best soundtracks in movies ever. You know, I'm not going to try and sing it because I'm crap at that and all that kind of stuff, but just all these elements make this movie a fucking enjoyable watch. And if there is anybody that has not seen this movie, I would seriously, highly recommend this movie, because if you don't enjoy this, there's something wrong. Let me put it like this. I am 36. I remember the first time I watched this. I can still watch it now, and I will watch it for many more times. Let me put it like that. So, on that note, I will give this a Cookster rating of, fuck yes, this movie is absolutely fantastic. It's well up there within my top 10 movies of all time. And that's my rating system now. There's no 10 out of 10s anymore. It's a rating system of what I actually think. And I think this movie is fucking one of the best movies that I've seen in my entire life. It is that simple. So, on that note, if you've seen this movie, please tell me what you think. Put it in the comments down below. If you haven't seen this movie, watch the movie and then put it in what you think in the comments down below. So on that note, I hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care and goodbye.